Hi guys,
Hello.
it's us again, and today we're just going straight to the point. We're talking about, as you can see from the title, why we applied to Stanford.
Why?
And I feel like this story, if you know us, we've shared this story like countless times.
I mean, who wouldn't?
Oh god, I shared the story on Twitter and it had like 719 people. 719 people saw the post. 719,000 people. But I'm going to be documenting this now for our children.
I mean, they should know. They should know why.
in case Twitter stops working before then.
Let's just hope YouTube doesn't crash.
Yeah.
Before then.
So are you gonna start? We're washing plates then.
Yes, we were. You must have seen the video. Was that not the last video we made?
No,
Summer
we never.
experience.
Oh yes.
Was it the one?
No, it was your visa experience. But
Oh
then,
yeah.
we're still watching.
You must have seen the video, the summer experience, what we did during the summer of 2021. Yeah. So we were there, busy, just wanting to earn some cash, And at the same time, we are quite proactive. Like, we like to let me not exaggerate, say 1,000 steps ahead. We just like to think ahead. And then we're already thinking about this summer. That was just like 6 months.
Yeah.
Was it like just 6 months of resumption? And our master's program, was just for 2 years. And we're already thinking of doing a PhD. Yes, we've always wanted to do a PhD. And so we're already searching for places, for schools to do.
It was just like by this time last year.
Exactly. Yes. I mean,
Right.
we're still watching play. I mean,
Yeah.
by this time last year, I was probably
Exactly.
sweeping and mopping the floor.
Because we stopped working at the retirement
On the
home
4th of August.
Exactly.
We tendered our resignation
So just-
letter the 4th of August. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So we're already thinking of a PhD. So we're not applying to schools, but we're looking for schools that all the tabs on our browser was full of schools, universities to do our PhD in German and all of that. So we're searching. And we're not even dreaming so big. We're checking universities like, well, maybe some big universities like Brown University.
We did not really care about.
Yeah, we didn't really
I mean,
care.
it's good.
Mm-hmm.
If we were thinking of it, it would have been good, but it wasn't like our priority that we want to go to an Ivy League institution or whatever.
Exactly.
So
We just wanted to
but of
secure.
course, we're not going to any university.
No.
The
We
University of Alabama.
weren't going to settle for less. We weren't
Yeah.
going to settle for less. But we're just concerned about, our plan was to make application into so many schools. We're trying to save money to apply to so many schools and then, choose the best of them all. That was just the plan. But Stanford was never at any point in the picture because we just didn't expect, and one main factor why it was so difficult to, why it was so tasking to be searching for the schools was because we did not want to write the GRE.
Yeah.
That was
it.
out of the option. So we're basically looking for schools that didn't require
If
GRE.
Harvard did not require GRE,
We would have applied
to Harvard.
Yes.
That
So
was-
the point was no GRE.
No GRE. I don't care if you're an
we'll
Ivy
make
League.
application.
If you're accepting GRE,
Because
I'm not applying.
See, in this life, sometimes you tell yourself, I can't do it.
I can't do this one.
At some point, you have to be real with yourself and tell yourself that
Oh god.
I know my limitations. We know our limitations. We knew there was no way we could ever pass GRE. One of our friends came to us. This thing is simple. If you just put your mind to it, you're just gonna you can achieve anything you put your mind to
It
achieve.
sends us
You can do anything.
past questions, right?
And he gave me a whole folder of one
GRE
gig,
past questions.
and I saw this. I'm like,
Nah.
I appreciate
even
your help.
tried.
I tried. Yeah,
You
I
got-
subscribed to a website where they give me daily questions, and then they just give you random tests. So out of 12 questions, I got 2. And I'm like,
I couldn't even attempt any. Even if I were to guess, I will still guess wrongly. That
exactly.
that
It was
the point.
crazy.
I couldn't do it.
Mad. See, bro, I appreciate everything you are trying to do for us. I know you can't trying to be like a motivational speaker, but thank you. We appreciate it. No.
We
So
checked Brown University.
we checked Brown University.
said they
They
were not
require-
accepting for 2022. I think maybe the COVID stuff or something. So they were not accepting. And then, like I said, we're checking everything, but I just wanted to list like the top
Some
ones.
of the stuff,
Harvard
yeah.
was asking for GRE out of the list. Brown said this. Then we
They were
just
like
checked
bookmark all the ones that didn't require a
Yeah.
GRE, bookmark
We
them.
bookmark them,
We'll
exactly.
come back to you and come and see other things. Then we were
checked Canada.
yes.
I don't
I'm
know
trying
how
to
we
remember
found
that there was a time we sent a message to
some professors.
yeah, and they didn't reply.
Yeah.
Okay, yes. Then we were like, okay, we can go to Canada. Why not Canada? So we saw McGill University, and then we found one professor in that department. We're like, we can even do this PhD in 3 years. Wow, let's do this. So we messaged the professor. She ghosted us.
And by the way,
Today, she
like
did not reply.
for Canada, we all the requirements check.
We check all the requirements. Like
So
we are
that's been an
perfect
easy
fit for this.
admission.
So.
Yeah.
But the woman did not reply. All in all, God had greater plans.
Yeah.
So that was the struggle. And then our teachers, did we talk to them at that time?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Okay, yeah.
Because it seemed too early to tell them that we are decided to apply for PhD after your first
What are you waiting
semester
for,
of
you
masters.
guys?
The masters was for 4 semesters.
Calm
after
down.
4 semesters. So
Calm down.
So I was
calm
looking
down.
to forward. So I think that was why we did not tell anyone. Yeah.
Exactly. And then I think our teacher introduced us to this lady.
Oh
at
yeah,
Arizona.
yeah.
So she
Professor.
our professor liked us really, really much. So
Yeah.
she told us, okay, I know you guys are planning for a PhD. Let me introduce you to somebody so you can talk to her. She was a one-time student. She had a master's
She was her
program.
student,
Yeah.
yeah.
So she was one of the people she liked. So she introduced us to her or her to us, and then we chatted. She was really helpful, and then she's a professor at the University of Arizona. So she was telling us about it, and we were like, thank you. Okay, let's just push that aside.
Like,
If we are left with no choice at all,
exactly.
then we're going to go to the University of Arizona. But because there's just so
I didn't like
there's
it.
just
We
so
just
many things,
didn't
like-
like it. Like that was it. I mean, Arizona is a top school. It's
is.
even higher. Like it's ranked higher than the University of Alabama.
yeah,
But our spirit was just not flowing with this, and we're like,
no.
this would be our last choice. Like all these other universities would be our last our last
Exactly.
options till we had exhausted our options. So I'll take over from there. So you can you see all what was like everything that was going on. Check online, immediately go to the requirements page, check that they need GRE out of the list. Like it was just so tiring, so
No further
frustrating
considerations.
because it was like why are people asking for GRE for a German PhD? Even the universities you'd be like, oh I love it, oh I love what they have to offer, the professors are doing something I want to do. GRE, and then you're out.
And then some of them were even requesting for TOEFL.
Yeah.
We're like, we could even manage to do TOEFL.
Yeah, or
But
IELTS,
GRE,
but not GRE.
we are not going to get it. from us.
So yeah, so that was, I think that was on the 12th of June. Then I slept out, like all this was going on. We were still like washing plates, working at the retirement home. And then I slept, and then I had a dream where I saw myself reading in the library at Stanford, and I was wearing.
Can I interrupt?
Yeah.
Sorry. So before now, she felt the prompting of the Holy Spirit to clear all her tabs.
Oh yeah, that's true.
that she just rest because there was no pressure
There was-
on us. We're just the ones,
exactly,
we're the
pressuring
ones
ourselves.
mounting pressure on ourselves. Like it wasn't as if we're just everyday checking, but it was just random things. Just let's even check, So
Yeah. So I just cleared all the tabs. It was so hard. I must tell you that it was hard to clear the tabs. See all the research we had done, like we had set for, let me say, 50
we are
universities.
filtered.
Exactly, and then you now finally find 5 that don't require GRE. And then the Holy Spirit is telling me to clear all this, and then I'm like, where am I gonna start from? In my head, I'm like, well, I'll just go to my history. And if I have to go back again. So I just clear the tabs. I'm like, whatever, like it's Google, it's always there if it's the Holy Spirit, and if it's not the Holy Spirit, then there's no bad option anyway. I'll just always go back to Google and search for universities that are not applying, that are not accepting GRE. So I cleared all my tabs, I went to sleep. And then I don't know if it was that night or some night after, but it was not even up to a week. I just dreamt and saw myself in Stanford. Like before this time, we had never checked Stanford. I don't even know why we never checked Stanford, because we actually checked Harvard, I think maybe Yale, but we just never checked Stanford. And then I saw myself in the library. I was reading, and then someone was behind me. In my head, I didn't see the person. You know how dreams are, but in my head, it felt in my spirit that it was my best friend that was behind me. It was so surreal. Like how could you even? Well, of course, it was the Holy Spirit was at work, because how could I even tell that was Stanford? I just knew in my spirit that was Stanford, and then Ken was behind me, and that was it. And I woke up. So when I woke up, I was like, is this just, you've been dreaming, you've been wanting to do your PhD, you've been searching, Googling and everything. So is it just, I beg, this is because I've been dreaming of PhD. That was just what I thought. So I just let the dream go. And then I went to work. I think I was the only one working that day. I think Kemi was at home.
Yeah,
Yes.
I was.
You were at home,
we
right?
were alternating.
Yeah, exactly. I was one that was supposed to go to work that day. And then I was at work. Let me show you how I was shaking. Like, so let me say when we were doing the food prep and I had to like maybe chop onions or carrots and all of that. I was shaking. That was how it was. It was, what do they call it? Vigor, a bit rigor.
Rigor.
Yeah, you know when you're,
Yeah.
is it called rigor? When you're just like vibrating.
You get it, Sha.
Yeah. Something go.
It go.
I know.
Whatever.
My heart was just beating. You know when you steal something and they're about to catch you, the way your heart will be beating. You know that feeling when you put your hand in your pocket and you don't find your phone and in the marketplace, the way it was just happening to me so often. I'm like, what's going on? And I know that when the Holy Spirit is speaking to me, or God maybe has told me something and I'm not paying attention, that's the way He makes me feel. So I was like, could this be happening? I was actually scared. You know when you're scared, when God is about to do something, you're scared of, God, what are you about to do? How? Are you kidding me? I could not have, I did not feel at rest. And normally we have to take like 15 minutes break twice before our actual 30 minutes break at work. So I told my supervisor that I wanted to just go rest. Then I told my boyfriend then, he's now my fiancé, so I told my boyfriend that, I just told him I had a dream. I dreamt that I got into Stanford. I think that was how I said it. I dreamt I got into Stanford. And then to the restroom, it's where we normally stay to have our rest.
Restroom.
And then I was shaking as I was checking, because when you're like, is this thing going to happen? So I went now, I checked, I just pressed Stanford University PhD German straight on Google. It took me to the website. I saw the admission requirements. The way I felt when I was going for my interview, and I said, God, if the first question this interviewer asked me is the first question or is one of the two questions in my dreams, then that would be it. That's the way I was not scared when I was going for my interview. When I was shaking, it was not because of I was scared. It was like, is God about to do something? That was exactly that same feeling, God, if I check Stanford and they don't accept GRE, Jesus Christ, God might be about to do something. And then I checked and they said, in fact, other universities were GRE optional, try to submit it, because people that submit will consider them. Stanford said, do not submit GRE scores.
Said GRE not
exactly
requested.
Not requested.
Not
exactly.
requested.
Don't submit it. That was how they said it, and I'm like, Jesus. It was at that point, that was the 12th of June, I think, when I woke up. I think I slept on June 11th and dreamt on June 12th. So one of those days, it was when from that point, we had known that God was about to do something very crazy. So I told him immediately. I sent the screenshot also to my boyfriend and to him. I'm like, see, Stanford is not accepting GRE. What? Oh my God.
Yeah, because you had told me that morning.
Yeah, exactly. I told him, exactly.
Guess what? I dreamt that.
Exactly.
Amen. No, of course, you don't want to go to Stanford.
I'm like, what?
And she sent me that screenshot.
That Stanford was not accepting
immediately.
Then I think we got home. I got home I wanted to just get out of that work or the work of my job already that day and just go home and let's start to see what we can do. So the next day again, Kemi was supposed to go to work. So I was at home, and then I was like, I'll just send an email to one of the professors in Stanford, let's just see. And I told Kemi as well. So Kemi was going to send to one professor, I was going to send to another professor in Stanford. And then I sent to my own professor, and I think it was yours that gave an automatic reply that they were not in office. Yeah. And then mine did not even reply at all. So I was like, you know what? I could not wait any longer. So I was like, let's send an email to the director of graduate studies. She was on vacation. I'd be on I think it was summer, so she was on paid vacation. I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to send to any director and
let them. Because that was how it happened for Alabama.
Yeah, exactly.
You sent an email to somebody and the director. You just director to
somebody in the department. So we saw the director of undergraduate studies, and then we sent an email to her good evening, we are this and this, we are coming from the University of Alabama, 4.0 CGPA, all of that good stuff. I want to apply to Stanford University, but we need to ask some questions and would like for you to put us through. I just sent it normally send emails to professors, they won't reply you. So I copied Kemi. Did I copy in the first email? I always forget to copy Kemi in emails.
Did you?
I can't remember. Maybe the first one and the second one you, something like that. So I sent it to her. And I just dropped my phone. I went to do something and maybe I even stepped off or so. I just woke up. I saw that she had replied.
You cannot imagine. You cannot understand that kind of joy.
And
that's like a
Exactly. When you just had a dream and then you just checked and then the dream has already started to actualize, and then a professor at Stanford is replying your mail within maybe 30 minutes or so. She answered so happily, like, yes, I would love to talk to you girls.
Like,
let's have a Zoom meeting. I'm like, that's it.
A Zoom.
I'm
going to see your face
once you
inside the Zoom
meeting,
meeting.
you forget it. Yeah, that's exactly like the feeling. And then so we had like a meeting on Saturday. She was even like,
I was at work.
Exactly.
And then she was like, what? I'm like, the time that is convenient for you, forget about us for now. Anytime that is convenient for you, I will stab anybody's back.
The funny thing is, I think she asked for a meeting maybe the next day. We're even thinking that, yeah, we should want to use our weekend to have Zoom meetings. You know, some people like to say, no, weekends, there is no work. And they were like, we are free on Thursday, but like in the evening after work, because we're working at a retirement home, taking care of old people. And we're like, is it fine to have a meeting on Saturday? And she said yes again.
How about 2 p.m?
Great. Let me take a laptop to work.
I'm like, I'm going to do plan A, plan B.
Exactly.
If I get to come home early, Uber straight. If not, I will find somewhere to do this thing. Even if it's under the staircase. Don't get. I must do something.
Good old times. Yeah. So she had a meeting with us. She told us like she was really excited to get to know us. We talked about and then at that point in our lives, it's not like we know exactly what we wanted to do for our PhD. Like we had some clues on how a PhD in German can be and what you can do with a PhD in German. But I mean, this was like 1 year ago. So much has happened in our lives, like in the space of 1 year. In fact, my career is even still changing at this point. But then we're still like a little bit clueless or naive, whatever, on what we wanted to do. But we were just able to like say it in a good way, like we don't really know exactly, but we are looking into doing intercultural literature. And then she also like told us, there are some things that if you're in German, you should try to focus on. People are more interested now in this part of it. And she told us some really salient points. That's why it's so necessary to try to get in contact with someone in the department we want to study, because it can like also give you some clues on the current research that is going on in your field. Yeah.
And that was the meeting. And that was the meeting that changed everything. No, the dream first.
Yeah, the dream. Yeah, the dream changed everything.
And then she said we could meet with her anytime.
Yeah, she was like,
and then I think we had some questions again to ask her. So that was the second time that I was at home. Like you said, you're going to wear your dress
exactly in the dream.
And then I wore my own version of the dress,
Yeah.
An African something like this, just to look good. And we're exchanging emails, constantly. So the whole gist of the application itself into Stanford, you're going to be seeing it
in another video. It's going to be really detailed.
Yeah. Because
I feel like some people have asked, I don't know, if you want to apply to Stanford, it's a reputable, prestigious university.
The dreams apart.
Exactly.
You can literally use your own hands.
Yeah, exactly.
To nullify the dream by putting in a shabby application.
Exactly.
It's not just
so
the dream.
Yeah. Anyway, we're gonna have like a well-detailed video on how
the application went.
Exactly how the application went and how we got admitted into Stanford University.
Thank you for watching. If you are yet to subscribe, please subscribe, like, share.
We have so many contents coming up for you guys.
Let's hear your
thoughts. Back for real, guys.
Okay.
Bye.